and welcome back. It is time to finish out our Week 12 picks. Already had some winners this week. We're going to have a bunch of winners on this one. Got to get back onto that track, that early October, late September track that we were rocking. Time to do it right here. And we're going to start off Friday night. Friday night, we start with North Texas and UTSA. North Texas struggled in their last game, scoring on the first drive of the game against Army and then not scoring again. Still, North Texas, while they do score well, sitting 15th in the nation in points per game, and you have UTSA struggling on defense as well, that looks like good signs. UTSA gives up 35.8 points per game. Still, UTSA, they're not scoring well. And while both teams normally see high totals, there's a overly high one in this one. We're going to take the North Texas UTSA under 72.5 minus 110 on MGM. Moving to Saturday, I'm going to start with Utah and Colorado. Utah has not been good this year, and last week was their big game against BYU. It ended horribly for them, and there could be some hangover here. Colorado, been playing great. They're 7-2 against the spread this year. They've covered in 7 straight games. Brandon Rose is out for Utah. That means they're going back to Isaac Wilson. This is basically their fourth stringer at this point. This could be a disaster for Utah. Take Colorado minus 10.5, minus 105 on Hard Rock. I'm moving to Liberty and UMass next. I said I would never bet a Liberty game again. I was actually talking to one of the other guys. Last week my number said to hammer Liberty. I was like, no, I'm not betting Liberty again, but here I am. Here's why. This is much more about UMass. First, they're just 3-6 against the spread this year. Further, they failed to cover in their last 3 against FCS opponents. Tyson Fomachan has been the quarterback. He's not been good, and now he's out. It's a backup of a bad quarterback. Liberty looked like they got some of their groove back last week. Now they need to carry it over. I don't believe I'm doing this. Liberty, minus 14, minus 110 on Caesars. Moving to Tulane and Navy. Tulane has scored very well this year, sitting 4th in the nation in points per game. Still, the primary focus of their offense is the running game, which is the strength of the Navy defense. Navy's 20th in the nation in points per game this year, while sitting 4th in the nation in running yards per game. Tulane, 8-2 against the spread this year, while Navy is 6-3. Navy's just 1-1 against the spread as an underdog, though, but the defense is strong enough to keep them in this game. Expect them to attempt to control the clock and limit possessions. Tulane's covered a lot due to turnovers. They're 28th in the nation in takeaways per game, but Navy's 39th in the nation in giveaways per game, while sitting 7th in takeaways a game. I think the turnover battle keeps this close. Give me Navy plus 7, minus 106 on ProfitX. I'm moving to Syracuse and Cal. Syracuse making the cross-country flight. Syracuse is just 4-5 against the spread this year, but 3-2 when they are an underdog. Meanwhile, Cal is 7-3 against the spread, and they've covered in 4 of their last 5. And they're also 3-2 against the spread when they're favored in a game. A turning point in this one could be sacks, though. Syracuse struggled with pressure last week, and McCord has been sacked on 4.25% of his dropbacks this year. Meanwhile, Cal is 10th in the nation in sack rate. Turnovers will be another issue. Syracuse gives up the ball 1.5 times a game. They're sitting 80th in the nation in turnover margin overall. Cal is 5th in the nation in turnover margin. They're 19th in the nation in takeaways per game. I like this when it opened up at 7. I'm going to pivot here. The 7s are long gone. I'm going to pivot to the total. Take the over 56.5, minus 113 on Ballybet. Moving to Louisville and Stanford. Louisville's just 4-5 against the spread this year after covering their first 3 games. They'd miss in 5 straight before covering last week against Clemson. Still, Stanford, just 2-7 against the spread. They haven't covered since upsetting Syracuse in September. Louisville's 25th in the nation in percentage of plays that are passing, while sitting 14th in passing yards per game. They'll be facing a bad pass defense from Stanford now. Further, Stanford has not been within 21 points of a team. They've only been within 21 points of a team once in this 6-game losing streak, losing to Wake Forest by just 3. Stanford scoring just 17.9 points per game this year. They're going to struggle to score again. Expect a great game from Tyler Shough for Louisville as he leads them to a dominating victory. Louisville minus 20.5, minus 110 on Fanatics. Moving to LSU and Florida. While Florida struggled as of late, they've covered actually in 5 of the last 6 games. 4 of those were as underdogs. Still, the defense has regressed as of late. While they're still scoring 25.5 points per game in their last 4, the over's hitting 3 of them as the defense is giving up 31.5 points in that time span. LSU has seen the under hit in each of their last 2 games, but the over has hit in 3 of their last 5. When LSU has won games in their last 5, the over's hit in all 3 of them. With a regressing defense for Florida, the ability of LSU to put up points, I like the over. Over 54, minus 113 on Ballybet. We're going to Boston College and SMU, and turnovers are going to play a major factor in this game. SMU is 11th in the nation in takeaways per game. They have a new quarterback over at Boston College. Nick Castellanos was benched last week, kind of left the program, kind of came back. No one quite knows, and he is not going to be starting. SMU is going to take advantage of that. Boston College is 5-4 against the spread this year. They've covered in each of their last 2. SMU 6-3 against the spread. They've covered in 5 of their last 6. The majority of the offense this year, though, for Boston College comes in the running game. That is the strength of the SMU defense. It's going to force Boston College to throw with a new quarterback. It's going to lead to mistakes. Take SMU. SMU minus 18.5, minus 108 on Ballybet. We got an odd one here. We got Hawaii and Utah State next. Hawaii not scored well this year. They're sitting 120th in the nation in points per game. But they're going to have an opportunity to score plenty in this one. They're facing one of the worst defensive units in college football. Hawaii's been solid as of late. They've covered in 4 of their last 5. They're also 6-4 against the spread overall this year. They're 2-1 against the spread as a favorite this year. Meanwhile, Utah State just 2-7 against the spread. They've failed to cover in each of their last 3. Hawaii's the better team. Take them. Hawaii minus 2.5, minus 110 on FanDuel. Moving to Tennessee and Georgia, and honestly, I think this is an odd line. First, the line notes that Nico may be out. He may be hurt. He may be out. Second, it shows that Georgia's so desperate for a win if they have any shots at the playoffs. Still, Tennessee's one of the best teams in the nation. They beat Alabama. Alabama beat Georgia. Carson Beck has struggled. Tennessee can create turnovers. Tennessee is also 5th in the nation in opponents' points per game this year. I think we get a low-scoring one. I don't mind the under. I don't mind the first half under. I love this, though. Tennessee plus 10.5, minus 115 on FanDuel. And finally, we're going to end with Kansas and BYU. BYU, at home, at night. Kansas has been playing better as of late, but so has Jake Retzlaff for BYU. Retzlaff can move the ball with his legs as well. The defense for Kansas has continued to let them all down all year. He's going to do it again in this one. BYU minus 2.5, minus 110 on FanDuel. Let's recap. We got North Texas UTSA under 72.5, Colorado minus 10.5, Liberty minus 14, Navy plus 7, Syracuse Cal over 56.5, Louisville minus 20.5, LSU Florida over 54, SMU minus 18.5, Hawaii minus 2.5, Tennessee plus 10.5, BYU minus 2.5. If you like this content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, share it with your friends. We'll see you on Sunday with our latest Top 25.